Element416.com, what's really good? I'm your boy Bizz, aka Honky with Attitude, aka Business as Usual. You know, host of the Crackhouse. I put out the teas, I do my thing, and just try to uplift the city and build an interest in and a market for local urban music. So that's what it is.
This is the Reach the Beach production.
When I got into university, I was involved with a indie group or whatever, I guess you could call it, rappers, right? It's called Crossfire Militainment. So I figured, yo, I could start a show. If I get 5 people to listen, that's 5 more people that heard our shit, right? It was a real small scale thing. I did that. Me and my boy just messed around with that for a little bit, and then as we got going, basically that through the Crossfire thing went to the side, and I thought, yo, I could really do this, and because people were responding to what I was doing, so I figured I want a name that first of all, I wanted to be able to put it out there and get people interested in what I was interested in. Just to tell you the truth, up until the end of high school, I had heard nothing out of the city, nothing out of Canada. I could really like give 2 shits about what was going on. But once I got into university, I started to peep a little bit with Crossfire. I had my head in it a little bit more, so I figured I want to do that. Crackhouse was basically just, I wanted to name it something that was a place and that would get people's attention and that had a theme behind it. So that's basically how it started. Crackhouse is basically like the concept of like the theme of the show. So when you think of like a crack house, like obviously it stuns a lot of people to begin with, right? The crack house, what is that, right? But when you think of that, like what goes along with the crack house, there's fiends and they come to get something that they want, right? They come to get something that they're addicted to and that gets them hype, right? So I wanted it to be like that. I wanted it to be a place where listeners would come to get something that they didn't start out knowing that they wanted, but then once they got it, they said, damn, I need that every week. So that's basically what it is. It goes along with the whole, from the history of hip-hop, it goes back to, you know, Dr. Dre, The Chronic. It's that dope. That's our slogan. It's that dope. It's not that dope. You know what I'm saying? So it's straight legit, though. A lot of people get it confused. They think crack house, this and that. You know, once they know what it is. You know, if you get a t-shirt or you see a flyer that says a crack house on it, at least you're gonna look and read a little bit more, you know what I mean, if nothing else. Hot, man. It's real hot, like literally hot, because it's soundproof shit. Anybody that's been to the crack house knows it gets steaming, like. But other than that, it's just a dope atmosphere. Like everybody that comes in, we just vibe real well, you know what I mean? Myself, Asiatic, any of my other, you know, like part-time co-hosts that I have up in there. We just make like a real nice atmosphere where it's like a lot of camaraderie and you know, but it's straight business, you know what I mean? We goof around and have our time, but when it's the mic's on, like let's do our thing and let's give the people what they want. You know what I mean? We're not on there to talk about all kinds of stupidness and be sloppy with our shit, you know? When it's time to get down to it, let's get down to it. And give the people proper programming. So typical night in the crack house is just fun, but serious and focused. I gotta give a big shout out to Cali Snipes from The Offense, because when The Offense came through last September, my man laid down an entire track, like the hook, verses, another hook, another verse, and then just flew off the top and was just going crazy. That stood out in my mind. When Bishop and Johnny Rocks came in and they were doing their verses, that was crazy because they had some real energy and real passion behind what they were saying. Sosa, Breeze, Knox Hoffa, they always kill it, man. They've been in the show, they're veterans. Count Money Cartel's been in the crack house, I think 3 or 4 times. So they definitely do their thing every time they come in, man. It's endless. Like, wait for the crack house compilation is coming soon. You're gonna get every cipher that's worth hearing that we've done. So it's hectic. Those are the ones that stand out, definitely. Yeah, I gotta give a big shout out to Set 2 and to Smirk and even Big Blacks, because that whole team is crazy. Like, as much as I put Set 2 on the Crack House, we're giving him some exposure and doing interviews with him, he really put me on by getting me to host his tape, because, you know what I mean, I'm trying to get on that hustle and trying to be there, posting a couple more mixtapes, get my guap up on that hustle, brand the Crack House through that way, you know. And he really reached out and said, yo, let's do it, you know what I mean? It was real reciprocal as far as our relationship, and it was a blast, man. I just hit up the studio with Smirk, and we just went in, you know, juiced a little bit. I think we were in and out in like 50 minutes. It was just, he just threw on some tracks, and I just did my thing, basically just added some energy to it. It was a lot of fun, man. It came real natural, too. I was actually kind of nervous, but when we got up in the spot, it came real natural, you know what I mean? It's just doing what I do on a Crackhouse and just adding a personality, you know what I mean? Alright? Honky with attitude is what it is.
This is a Regional Beats production.
Well, the ongoing goal is to assist in build, like I said, assist in building a market for and an interest in local urban music, and that's always going to be going. It's always going to be ongoing, but we have accomplished a lot. People know who we are. Artists get at us. You know, I don't have to run around and nag on people's shorts and shit to get them on the show. You know, people approach us and are viewing the Crackhouse as a legitimate outlet for their music, which was a major step. You know what I mean? When we have people like Point Blank get at us, and when we have people like Richie Sosa and Remo the Rap Star, Belly was recently on. We have people like even Bishop, you know what I mean? Slug, you know what I mean? People like Drake have called into the show. Everybody's basically come together and said, like, legitimized it as a forum for what they want to talk about, and so that's definitely been a big step. But we'll never stop, you know what I mean? We'll never stop until we're at the point where the city blows and the city recognizes that there's things to be interested in the local urban music scene. 5 years. 5 years, I hope. 5 years, I hope that we could be on a frequency, or really what I like to do is be on XM or Sirius radio. Like, when that gets to a point where everybody has it, because right now, for what we do, you know, it wouldn't really work. I don't have it. I couldn't listen to my own show. You know what I'm saying? 5 years, when it's really spread, that would be awesome, because we could do the same shit we do right now as far as this uncensored, and have ciphers and do things that are off commercial radio. You know what I mean? Things that Flow can't do. You know what I mean? So that's basically, that'd be awesome. That's where I want to go to. Definitely. Absolutely. The addition of Asiatic and DJ Visionary, it's been tremendous, because someone like Asiatic comes with a pile of credibility. You know, a Justo Award winner. He's been hosting mixtapes a long time, doing parties coast to coast. He does a lot of things in the States, so the addition of those two people was definitely a big step. And just experience interviewing myself. You know, I'm a journalism student, so getting experience, learning how to interview people properly, looking for keys to jump on as far as answers to questions, and basically just fine-tuning the technical aspects of running a show. It's been heavy. We're 10 times better than we were this time last year. A lot to look forward to, man. It doesn't stop, man. You just need to be there every Tuesday night, because every Tuesday night is new. You know what I mean? It's a new feel with that same dopeness. Shout outs. I gotta give a big shout out to Asiatic, Visionary. I gotta give a big shout out to my man G, because he was holding me down with Militainment Mix Show back in the day. I gotta give a big shout out to my man Big Man. He's a street team general. My man Leche, he's like my consigliere in the shit. You know what I mean? Kay from Hustability.net, she holds me down with all the banners and everything. The whole street team, like T-Blaze, Crucial, Triff, Faye, goddamn Seema, everybody that just goes hard with the Crackhouse when they don't even need to, when I'm not even around, and they're writing it on walls and yelling at people and going to the West End and telling people, listen to the Crackhouse. Everybody that puts in work, man, I got love for everybody, because you don't need to do that, and you really do it. And you're not even only just doing it for me and for my purposes, you're really doing it for the city. So that's basically what it is. So
This is a Regional Beats production.
process is put in some work. First of all, I don't like when people get at us. Like, we might just be on the internet, and we might just be, you know, whatever, 2 years in, but I don't like when people get at us like we owe them something, and I've never heard of them, and I've never heard their tracks, and they're recording on fucking sound recorder with a $2 comp mic from the source. Like, get the fuck out of here, you know? First of all, build your buzz, put your work in. That's why people like Mayhem and Sosa and, you know what I mean, all these people that have been on the Crackhouse, get on the Crackhouse. It's not a game. Like, first of all, get your buzz up. Second of all, you can just email us your tracks to crackhouse@itsbusiness.com. That's ITZBIZZNIZZ.com. It goes in for review. Myself, Visionary, Asiatic, gets put into rotation if we like it. If it doesn't get put into rotation, you can get people to call in and request it. That's another way to get it on. That's what it is. Basically, I gotta give a big shout out to my man JBizz. He's an avid street team member, and basically he hollered at me and he said, you know what, I think we should do some t-shirts with a slogan on it. And he had this idea for these t-shirts, right? I had already done t-shirts for the Crackhouse from, you know, just to brand it, get it out there. But basically, it's just something that people can put on and walk around and say, yeah, I'm from the north. Not even just Toronto, just Canada, just the north, you know what I mean? Just your region. And rep it and say, you know, when other men see it, that they hail it up because they know what it is. You know what I mean? It's pretty straightforward. We're from the north, so why not rep from the north? You know what I mean? That's why my man's got a Jays hat on, and that's why I got a Jays hat on. Like, you see people rocking Jays hats and Raptors jerseys, and that's what it is these days. So why not make a t-shirt, brand our shit with it, because we got the Crackhouse on it, and make a statement while we do it. Trust me, you wear one of these t-shirts, you feel like a big titty bitch, because everybody just looks at your chest all the time. Like I said, like how the Crackhouse has progressed. Fuck, man, like I said, we've been doing t-shirts for a second. This was the first ever. This is like collector's edition. I think I did like 12 of these. You know what I mean? Back in the day, went to a little boutique and paid a ridiculous amount for this just to get the setup with some t-shirts to rock. You know what I mean? We did these, and the next thing came, just mass. You know what I mean? Low budget, just get them out there, just flood the supporters, because everybody was hungry. You know what I mean? They seen the first batch and they said, yo, I want some of those. So we just got these out. You know what I mean? Just basic info, real simple design. And then as it went, these came along. You know what I mean? Big up to my man Tim from VDR. He did the design for this. You know, concept was basically like an admit one ticket. You know, you're going to the Crackhouse, you need a ticket to get in, so we'll rock one of these. I realized afterwards that it also kind of looks like a razor blade, but that was by accident still. You know what I mean? Then yeah, we're at the present, right? Hip hop ain't dead. It lives in the north. A little Crackhouse at the bottom. You get it in blue, you can get it in red. Right now, they're going crazy. I already got through 100, you know what I mean? $20. We can do two for 35. That's what it is. So basically, yeah, man, I mean, in all facets, we're just trying to evolve, just trying to get better, slicker, expand our network and expand our fan base and our family and take over, you know what I mean? It's not, I also got to stress, this isn't like an anti-flow or an anti-Project Bounce or an like 88.1 or anything else that's going on. This is our own thing that we're adding to all that shit, you know what I mean? We need as many avenues as we can for these dudes to put out their music and talk about what they want to talk about. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good people that are doing a lot of good things in the city and in the country, and I'm just trying to open up my network's ears to what's going on, you know what I mean? So that's the main message. First of all, I gotta give a shout out to my man Musclehead, you know what I mean? The barber that you need to get to for a Chris lineup and everything. He holds me down. He's been supporting my shit for a long time. We're outside his barbershop. He's changing locations right now. If you need to get at him for a Chris lineup or anything, 416-797-2068, that's what it is. And really, I just want to talk on this beef shit, man, because a lot of confrontations go down on the Crackhouse, and people get it kind of twisted, think that I provoke it or Asiatic provokes it, and we're in people's ears talking all this shit and calling people up, saying call in and talk shit about whoever it may be. You know what I mean? We've had a lot of things go down, whether it be way back when with the Johnny Rocks, JD era, Mr. Bourne and Lou Breeze situation, or now with more recently with Aristo, Drake, you know what I mean, Bishop, Belly, all that stuff. I gotta stress that first of all, that's life, okay? People get in arguments and people get in disputes, and that it comes out on our show should be an indication of how real life our show is and how grassroots our show is, because we don't cut that out. We allow people to talk about issues, whether they're talking about how they hate 50 Cent's new single, or whether they're talking about how Big Mac's a cornball according to Bishop, you know what I mean? Anything, that's how it is. So that needs to be cleared up first of all, because I get a lot of people come to me or talk sideways behind my back or over here, over there, talking about the Crackhouse, you know, is provoking beef in Toronto or Canada, and it's bringing the scene down. I don't buy that, man. I don't call any of these people or ask any of these people to call in or talk on what they talk on. You know what I mean? Everybody that's called in, everybody that's been on the show and talked about what they wanted to talk about, it was out of their own will, and you can ask everybody that, and they will back me up on that. You know what I mean? They're grown men and they know what they're doing, and I think everybody just needs to take a step back and stop hating. You know what I mean? Just get on the bus and see what it really is, because it's really just that dope. Crackhouse. Out.
This